Live.
We're good?
You're live.
You guys there? Hi everybody, my name is Jenna. This is my lovely back garden. It is a gorgeous, not so much, New York City day. Hot and humid, so the hair's pulled back. I had quite a week this week. I hemmed and hawed for the last couple weeks over this Spartan race that I was doing. Every single thing I did throughout the course of the day was in some way, shape, or form affected by or in preparation of or getting ready to do the Spartan Race. You know what the Spartan Race is? It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. I mean, it's fantastic, but it's a race with the obstacle courses and the mud and the wires and the fire and they electrocute you, like all the things you could imagine never wanting to be associated with, like the waterboarding and getting electrocuted, like going under murky cold water probably filled with amoebas, like all of that combined into one. And I still signed up for it. Then I found out it was 5 miles, still signed up for it. Then I found out it was 5 miles up a black diamond ski slope, and yet still agreed to do this. So the last couple weeks was all about preparing, but that's just a word I say. Like, was I really preparing? No. Like, in no way, shape, or form did I actually prepare. But boy, my mouth went nuts preparing for this. Like, talk to everyone and their parents. So, in the process of all this, I somehow, some way convinced Stephanie to run this with me. And it was the usual. If anyone's ever been married or a spouse or boyfriend and girlfriend and you convince them to do something they don't want to do, it's fine till the night before. Then you get into bed and it's, I don't want to do this. I never wanted to do this. I don't want to get up tomorrow morning. I have no interest in running this. It's so stupid. Like, you hear the whole thing. You should have told me. The last thing you want right before a big race like this is to have any tension whatsoever. So now, on top of not really thinking that I could handle this, there was that. But we got up, got to the race. There was like this insane music. It was up in Tuxedo, New York. My dad, I guess in his mind, assumed that there were like 30 people running this race. There must have been about 2,000 people that were at this place. And it's divided into different heats depending on, I don't know, how fit you are. So, yeah, the music, and everyone's got like the black under their eye, and they're like flexing, and the shakes, and they're like doing the push-ups, and they're like, the stretching was more than I thought the whole race was. They were like sprinting up and down the mountain. We get to our heat. We were the 8 o'clock competitive heat. We were signed up for the elite heat. Stephanie would never have spoken to me again had I actually made a run in the elite heat, so we ran in the competitive. They do a bunch of things to get you all excited. You are warriors. There's no way you can't fail. Nothing is better than this moment. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. If you do nothing, nothing happens. I mean, like, the whole, I wanted to like run off and cure cancer. A race was nothing compared to what I thought I could do by the way this guy was like pumping me up. On your marks, get set, then they say, who are you? And we scream out, I am a warrior. So Steph's like, don't scream out, I'm a warrior. You're ridiculous. I'm like, you're right, that's not. He goes, who are you? And everyone screams out, I am a warrior. Then he does it a second time, who are you? And no one screams, and there's me. I'm a warrior. What's up? How you doing? That's exactly what happened. So right off the bat, I'm a little bit insecure. Gun goes off, boom, whatever it was, and we're off and running. And the first thing you're met with is 2 miles uphill. Like, not 2 miles like this, or like this. It was like 2 miles like this. So you're like running on your toes, and it's rocky, and people are like moving around you, and you're elbowing, and you know, it's like the way a marathon starts when you're all in a big group, you know, and you're jostling for position. Like, little did I know we had 5 miles of this, so nobody needed to be jostling. It could have been like my grandmother on the highway. Go around, just go around, and she's driving 30 miles an hour on like a 65. But I could say unequivocally, it was the hardest thing that I have probably ever done or pushed my body to do. And believe me, I've done the craziest things in the craziest places with the craziest people, and for me to say that is definitely something. These guys were awesome. It was organized. It was so cordial. Anytime someone passed me, this was in Tuxedo, New York, at the old, there used to be a ski resort there. I guess it's shut down now. People passed me these big burly guys, and they'd be like, excuse me, sorry, excuse me, on your left, excuse me, on your left. I was like, could you be less nice? You're actually too nice. You're actually too nice. You do not fit in to my mentality of what this race is. So we get into the race, and it was actually really great to run it with someone, so I ran it with Steph, and because our lives are like this, we are always 2 ships passing in the night, to be able to do this was really cool and really fun. I'll give you some examples of what it was. So it's 5 miles up and down the slope with obstacles. So what's an obstacle? Jumping over a 9-foot wall, no ladder, no help, no arm up, no stepping on Steph's head, none of it. You have to find a way to jump up the 9 feet and then pull yourself over the wall. Those are the easy obstacles.
You can jump 9 feet high.
Well, for the women, they give you a tiny, tiny little piece of wood that jets out from the wood. It's literally like this. So the tip of your sneaker barely hits it, and you can step on that to get up. And even from there, you have to jump. Now, if you miss an obstacle, you have to do 30 burpees. And there are people at every obstacle that watch you. You know what a burpee is, right? Down, jump, in, stomach on the floor, jump up in the air. 30. They watch you, otherwise you're penalized if you don't do it. So, that was that. We got to a couple of big rock. You pour 75 pounds of rocks in a bucket. You have to go halfway up the mountain and halfway down. Underwater, there was like a bridge, and you have to go underwater where you can't feel, and then you come back up, pull yourself up a slippery wall. Probably the most challenging was, it was almost like 1/8 of a mile of barbed wire, 1.5 feet off the ground. Rocks all over the ground. You're on your stomach, shimmying. So you want to talk about a test of core strength all the way across. And if you try to come up, X marks the spot on your back with barbed wire. But it was intense, and I hated every minute of it, and it was so hard, and it was so trying and testing, and it really, like, I had to like dig deep and pull every last ounce of anything I possibly had within me, and it was like mental as much as it was physical, and it was emotional, and it really tapped into the essence of who I was and everything that I had trained for. I vowed the entire time never to do it again. It was so hard, so hard, so hard. The last thing is you jump over this fire pit, which, like, if you hadn't shaved, it was great because it took all the hair off my legs. Right over the fire pit, you cross the finish line, and guess what I did? Signed up for my next race. July 17th in Pennsylvania.
Where in Pennsylvania?
Palmerton? Have you heard of it? There's a good chance I'm saying it wrong, or maybe have the completely wrong.
It's because it's so hard to spell Palmer.
Yeah, Palmerton. I don't know, whatever it is. So what was the point of all that? You know, sometimes a couple things. One, it's really nice to be tested because we live in these really safe cocoons. We provide that for ourselves, right? We avoid confrontation, we avoid anything too hard. We didn't sign up for that class because it's too much sweat, too much pain. Like, we go through life trying to be as comfortable as possible. And sometimes stepping outside of that comfort zone.
Marv says you may need to have your head examined.
Yes, well, I already know that. That since birth, I needed to have my head examined. Thank you, Marv. Sometimes you have to step outside your comfort zone and let it be uncomfortable for you to truly get a chance to meet the person that never gets to rear themselves, right? That you never get a chance to see. And you would be surprised at what you are capable of when given the opportunity to prove that. But we so rarely are in life. We are just marching forward one step in front of the other, but take a step to the right or to the left or even backwards every once in a while. But this right here is your comfort zone, and right here and right here and right here is where all the good happens. Right here, right? Inside here, that's predictable and that's easy and that's safe. But if you can try to live anywhere in this area right here, that's where is the true test of who you are, what you're made of, and what you're capable of. And I found that I was capable of so much more than I thought, because had I known what all these obstacles were and everything, I probably wouldn't have signed up for the race. But I went in there and I dug deep and I pulled something out, and I absolutely loved it, and I will do it again.
Marv was asking if Steph finished the race.
So, believe it or not, I didn't even ask Steph to race again, because I thought for sure she must have hated it as much as I did, the experience, but wasn't compelled to sign up again. So I said afterwards, I'm like, look, I just want you to know, I know you think I'm crazy, I'm signing up for the July 17th race. Did you sign me up? I said, no, you don't understand. I'm signing up for the Spartan July. She was like, I would love to do it. I go, you would? I thought you hated it. She goes, yeah, I did, and I want to do it again. I loved that I hated it. I loved that it was so uncomfortable. I was like, you got it. Anyone that crossed that finish line got it. You understood what it meant to be uncomfortable for a little bit and to grow. You got stronger, you got smarter, and you tested yourself. And I think that everyone should do that one time. I would love to say one time every day, but really, at this day and age, it's usually one time a week or even one time a month. But if you can do that, good for you. What else? Do you want to like go run a marathon right now, Lance?
I ran the marathon.
Oh yeah, that I couldn't do.
In 1991. before they actually had like.
1991, they didn't even have like sneakers back then.
They
Did
barely
You all
had
ran
sneakers.
barefoot?
They didn't have the timer thing. Like it took like 15 minutes to get to the
Just
front.
to get to the front.
And so I'm always like, and I ran it like 4 hours and 24 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, it took me, a half an hour to
Right.
get to the
Just
front
to
of the
the-
line.
to
It's just
start
not
it.
fair to compare it to
Right.
the times now.
Exactly.
But
Well, the truth is I didn't care about my time. I have a really bad knee, and if there are any orthopedic folks out there who want to take a stab at figuring out what's the deal with my knee, I would welcome it, and I would, I don't know, what do you want? I could bear you a child, like whatever it is that you feel like you need to fix my knee, I would give that to you, my soul and everything that comes along with it. So for 4 miles, I was fantastic, and the last mile, I basically limped, which is bad. But
have you been to an orthopedist?
I've been to a bunch over the years. No one fantastic that has been good enough to figure out what it is. I know I played a lot of volleyball. I know I have some arthritis in my knee. But 4 miles, I'm amazing. And then that last mile, it is so painful. It feels like there are like knives stabbing into my knee, which is graphic. And I apologize if you're eating your breakfast.
Anything else happened recently?
Anything else? That was a big deal, the Spartan Race.
Spartan Race, is there anything
That
else?
was like
Or
my-
we're gonna just keep you back in 5 minutes.
That was my like big thing. Let me think. Did anything else happen this week?
Somebody's saying that you should try cannabis for the knee. I don't know if that's.
Okay. Thank you for that. Do I rub it on? Okay. Do I mix it with water and rub it on? Those are good suggestions. I'll take any and all suggestions for my knee. I am foam rolling like 24/7, and I have a brace that I ordered. I've never worn a brace before, so we'll see how that goes. If I run this race and I can't make it, then I either need to stop racing or I need to really see a amazing specialist. My 2-year-old is going through the terrible twos, so if anyone has advice on that, she is the most adorable, small, sweet little child ever, except for the last couple weeks. And she now is, I don't know what she's doing. Acting out? She's only been alive 2 years. What, acting out? Who does that? So I will take advice on that as well. So it's been a good week, and I'm healthy, I'm happy. I worked out already today. We've got some awesome people on the show. Some people
Marv
that are
was saying
sort
he
of...
lost 38 pounds since December 13th.
Nice, Marv. It's fantastic. I think Marv was getting ready for his daughter's wedding, and so he had a goal. Sometimes if you have a deadline or a goal, it's a lot easier to get it done. My mom is trying to lose weight now. She's doing Weight Watchers. She doesn't have a goal. She just wants to do it slowly and
You
steadily.
should buy Thinner and 30. I hear it works.
Yeah, so let me just tell you a really funny story about my mom. Thinner and 30 is this book that I just wrote. It's a great book. It's
Marv
an
says
easy
yes,
way.
he was preparing for the...
He was, his daughter's wedding. This book is a super easy way to lose weight. I give you one small chapter, one small change, one small thing you can do, bite-sized, digestible thing you can do every single day. The next day you do 2 things, the next day you do 3 things, and the next thing you know, you're on your way towards a healthy and a much cleaner lifestyle. That being said, most of the chapters start off with a conversation, a ridiculous, inane conversation with my parents about how little they know about the world that I literally eat, sleep, and breathe in. So I said to my mom, recently, book came out in January. We're in June. I recently said to my mom, we never really talked about the book. What do you think? She's like, well, I'm not finished yet. I'll let you know. I was like, well, what did you think about just like all the stuff about you in there? She's like, well, I haven't gotten to that yet, but I promise I'll let you know. Chapter 2. Chapter 2, there's a conversation with my parents. She hasn't gotten to that yet. So I really want her to ease into it. Like, take 6 months to read the first chapter, which is like 8 pages. So that is that. But love her, and she's amazing. And she lost 7 pounds already, and I'm so super proud of her. And if she knew how to use Twitter and Periscope, I would imagine she'd be watching, but not so much. Okay, so we have a really cool show today. We have, speaking of outside my comfort zone, I worked in TV for 20 years, and I'm the opposite of a health and beauty expert. Complete. Fitness, diet, wellness, 100%. When it comes to anything else, makeup and creams and all the fun, amazing stuff that a lot of women just absolutely love and can't get enough of, not my strong point. So we have some really cool people on that live in that space, and we're gonna have fun talking to them. So we're gonna take a break and we'll be back. See you in a little bit.